Let's say someone comes to you and they say, all right, Lori, I think I want to start applying for some new opportunities, maybe at Cox.
Right.
What are some maybe tips on some to-dos, things you should do to really put yourself in the best light, set yourself up really well with that recruiter, and really position yourself well for that job?
So if you don't have underwater basket weaving skills, don't apply to be an underwater basket weaver. However, if you have weaving skills outside of the water and you really, really feel like I can do this, then you need to highlight that on your resume as best you can, and then you need to network to get in front of me. Like, don't just apply to the job, connect to me on LinkedIn, connect to someone else in the company on LinkedIn, reach out to your network or maybe know somebody that works there to make sure that we take a look at your resume. But when I see the same candidate applying for 20 different jobs, there's no way you're qualified for all of those 20 jobs, right? Apply for things that are going to be the right fit for you.
Okay, so you just gave two really good nuggets there. So the first one is, if you're not a perfect fit, but you've got parts and pieces.
Yes.
Before just applying blindly, make sure you're connecting with the recruiter and maybe someone else in the company.
Yes.
So they get to know you a little bit and you can help sell that connection.
Definitely.
And don't just shotgun it.
No.
Don't just say, hey, I want to work at Cox. And maybe people do want to work at Cox, but don't say, and I'll take any job.
Correct.
Because it kind of dilutes your brand.
Yes.
Right? And then it kind of violates that old strategy adage, you can't be all things to all people.
No. Exactly.
So okay, let's push on that a little bit. What's too many jobs to apply for? You said 20. Can you apply to 2?
Of course. Definitely.
3?
Yeah, and I mean, the beauty of Cox is that we have multiple divisions. So it could be that we even have the same role or similar roles posted across the divisions. And if you qualify for all of those, you should absolutely apply. And that's fun for me too. If I have multiple positions open, I will market the same candidate because you are looking for that match. And it'll be interesting how a candidate and a hiring leader in one group just won't necessarily hit it off. But then the next group, they're like, oh my gosh, hire him tomorrow. He's a perfect fit. So I know that from a recruiter perspective too, that a lot of it is personality. A lot of it is just a particular skill that's going to make sense in this department that didn't make sense in the other group.
Okay.
Oops.
You lost your earbud.
I lost my earbud. It's all
But
good.
you have the other one in.
I mean, why do you need to?
You're natural anyway. You don't really even need the earbuds.
No, I can hear you, Isaac. Just yell loud.
So what's another kind of tip? What's another strategy that, I'm thinking about testing the market. So I also hear this from my clients. So while the market is really tough,
Yes.
I'm not hearing a lot of super happiness at people's current jobs. Mm-hmm. Not to say that people are unhappy,
Right.
but I'm hearing people say, gosh, I'm really...
They're working
I
hard.
worked hard. I don't feel as, appreciated, or
Right.
I'm not, and maybe I'm not paid as much as I could make somewhere else. So there's a little bit of this general itchiness to kind of know, what am I worth?
Right.
Test the field a little bit. Are there any other kind of to-dos that you would recommend people do that either impress you when they come to you this way, or that you see as kind of good best practices?
So a couple things. If you think you're ready for a change, do your research. The grass isn't always greener somewhere else, so make sure if you're not happy in your current culture, your current company, apply to jobs that you've done your research on or you've connected to people there and it's going to be a good fit, because you don't want to go from one unhappy situation to another. If you feel like you're undercompensated, I totally get that. What's been interesting over the years, a lot of states have said employers do not need to ask, and I think some of them are making it a law that they're required not to ask an employee what they're currently making. So remember in the old days, you used to always call and verify current compensation, all that. That's not a practice currently.
Wow.
So the good news is when you're applying for a job and when you're talking to the hiring leader or recruiter, you don't have to reveal your current salary. You can reveal what you feel like you are worth and what you're targeting based on your research that you have done.
But you can't do that even if you haven't done the research.
You gotta do the research. And it's okay to go into the interview and say, I'm really flexible. Are you able to share with me a general range that this position would pay? I usually push back a little bit more and say, well, tell me what you want, what you're looking for, so I don't reveal the range and make it so that internal employees at Cox, their salary is being shared, right?
Master negotiator.
Master
Always
negotiator.
make the other party go first.
Go first. And people will tell me, I need X salary. And I can either say to them, well, that's really close. Let's talk about it, because let's look at the whole package, because we've got a bonus and we've got benefits and we've got this. Would that be something you can consider? And if we're really off target, if they're really looking for something more, I don't want them to have to settle. They're leaving because they feel they're undercompensated. Then let's find you a role where you are going to be compensated. And maybe this manager level isn't it, but the senior manager would be perfect. And you do have the years of experience to apply for a senior manager. But it's struggling. It's difficult when a VP applies and says, but I'm willing to take a pay cut to get in here because I know the culture's good and I know the salary will come. But no one wants to hire a VP as a manager that's only going to last for a year. And they're going to be unhappy and they're going to be looking to go.